Just like that, we're live again for another episode of the Treehouse, our weekly show. Today we have a wide array of guests, a packed house, I would say. We haven't had this packed of a house in a while, but it's exciting, all new people. And again, my name's Armand. I always like to start these things by going around and just saying hi, my name is, and then maybe a fun fact or something about you. You know what I'm saying? So we'll start with Susie, and then we'll let her go to get to work.
Messing up her
Hi.
flow, man.
I'm Susie. I'm on social medias as Susie Cosplays, and I'm painting stuff today. So
That is right. That is right. We're gonna circle back to Susie throughout the episode, but she's always doing something, and she's always doing something. We got Mo Biggs in the chat. Hail Mo Biggs, that's for sure. Charlie.
Hey, Charlie McElvy, creator of Spider Squirrel and Trash Panda. Started publishing those books last year in May. Issue 3 actually launches this weekend, so really looking forward to closing out the first volume. But we've got a whole bunch of other stuff spinning out of that, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point.
Oh man, we got Phoenix Animation in the house. Hail him, and Ruben.
My name is Ruben Romero, writer and creator of The Illusion Witch. And fun fact, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I'm a diehard Knicks fan.
Okay,
and that just tells you that I just love punishment and torture. So
you said it, so I didn't have to.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
Are you in New York, Ruben? I didn't know. Are you from New York?
No. I grew up. I was born in Venezuela, and I was raised in Miami. And I ended up with a father who grew up in New York and loved the Yankees and loved the Knicks, and he just passed those things on to me. So here I am.
Genetic.
So I was like the only kid in Miami. Yeah, I was like the only kid in Miami. Everybody was Heat fans, and they all hated me.
Makes sense. We got Phoenix saying, "What's up, R.I.P. B Rose? What happened with the B Rose? He's always in this chat. We'll kind of have to see if he pops in or not, and then we'll have to check in on him. M, how are you doing today?
I am good. What do I say? Well, I'm a self-taught artist and writer. I'm kickstarting book 4 of my comic Sacrimony, A Tale of Love, Life, and Death in no particular order. And I feel like I should say and I'm an alcoholic, but I'm not.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good.
Yes. So that is my fun fact, is that I'm not an alcoholic.
We have Honor Vincent, and before we even get started, how cool of a nickname is that? Okay, you can go on.
It's my middle name and my maiden name, so I needed a pen name, so it just kind of worked. So I'm Honor Vincent. I write Andraste, which is a historical fantasy series about Boudica that's in progress, and New Rat City, which is kickstarting right now through 9 a.m. tomorrow, so we're in that real last leg. Like Ruben, I am also a sucker for punishment because I am a Mets and Islanders fan, so ouch. But I was born very close to Shea Stadium, so I'm also not allowed to root for anybody else.
Makes sense. Yeah, I'm from New York City as well, born and raised, almost really never left. So I think M is as well. But
yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Native New Yorker, been here all my life.
Yeah, great. M is just. Are you upstate or are you more in the city?
Me?
Bronx. Okay. Yeah. How about you, Honor? Are you?
I'm in Roosevelt Island.
Roosevelt Island.
Yeah.
Cool, we're so close. Whenever there's another comic con, we should meet up.
Yeah, Brooklyn Comic Con is coming up if anybody's going. I'm still considering it because of the whole pandemic thing, but I'm thinking about it.
We have Phoenix saying a bigger Mac assist. I don't know how to pronounce that fully than Black Rose Comics. And then we have Mobig saying an alcoholic in denial. Interesting.
Oh, absolutely. It's not a problem until I admit it is.
That's right. Ellie, you're back? You're back here with us. How are you doing, Ellie?
I'm okay. I've no idea how this mic is working. It's a new mic?
It sounds good. It sounds good. For those who remember, Ellie was there in the first few streams of this show, and we've only grown since then to about 100, and I think we're about to cross 130 subscribers in just over a month. So exciting stuff. It's exciting stuff. Anything to introduce yourself, Ellie? Any reveals you want to tease out?
I'm an artist from the UK. What's it say? I'm working on something with you. And yeah, I've not got any of the art on the laptop I can show, I'm afraid.
Oh no,
Nearly
that's
thought the
right.
laptop, nothing set up.
But the big reveal, the big tease is that Ellie colored a cover for the Indiegogo campaign that we're launching on Elixir, artwork by Pack, and then Ellie colored it, and that's going to come out I think June 5 or in one of the first few days of June. So that's about 2 or 3 weeks away, and that's another fun thing we're bringing over to Indiegogo. Whole new. We got an exclusive box, an exclusive art print, and an exclusive cover strictly for Indiegogo. And so we're doing something big over there. Pac, how are you doing today?
Good. How's everyone doing?
Pac is the artist of Elixir. If you haven't seen his work, you will see maybe some today. How are you doing anything today, Pac?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick sketch since I can't stay for long. So I'm gonna
That's
do
right. That's right. So
a sketch of that.
So we are in fulfillment mode for Elixir on the Kickstarter, and one of the things Pac's doing is on the interior, on the inside cover of the first page. Really, he's sketching. He's sketching an inked sketch as a little tidbit for the higher tier backers, and I think we're almost about to fulfill that. So as soon as he's done, we'll kind of get that ball rolling. We got Jay Burns here, a stacked panel here. I could not agree more. This is probably the most stacked panel we've ever had. And lots of fun creators. I want to call it a writer power hour because there's some top-notch writers on here, and not too many writers that came on the show actually. So I'm pretty excited for it. We got Mo Big saying nothing gold can stay. #Pack. That is true. The Pack. Everybody wants more of you, Pack, but again, nothing gold can stay.
Thanks, Moby.
Susie, can you just explain what exactly you're painting here and what color it's supposed to?
So right now it's this side is all gray with primer, and I'm painting it silver. The whole thing's going to be silver, but the gray is the primer. This is a pistol I 3D printed for the costume, and this guy down here is going to be red.
Okay, that looks good. I'm already excited. I can already see it, and Susie's doing some wild things that she blows my mind every time we talk. I believe she 3D printed these items. So,
I did, yes.
It really didn't even know that was possible until 2 weeks ago when she said she was going to do it. We got Ali in the chat. Hola gente bonita. I think that means hello beautiful people. In my Spanish, Ruben, you Spanish?
That it does.
It was an exact translation.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
An exact translation. That was perfect.
And I could not agree more with Ali. You know what I'm saying? We got some fun people happening in the chat. So yeah, I wanted to kind of kick it off with let's bring it back to I want to bring it back to Honor, just because I believe she said her Kickstarter is ending tomorrow. Is that what you said?
That is true. It's got 14 hours left.
14 hours left.
Yeah.
And this drew me obviously because and I will share the screen, but the reason I really enjoyed this is because we had last week on the show Pat Shand, right? And he does a book called Destiny New York. And what he does is he really took the New York part and ran with it, right? Mm-hmm. And I was super intrigued, born in New York City and raised. It's called New Rat City. So what inspired this story and really what inspired the name? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know how the name came to me. It just kind of did one day. I'd been working on the story for this for a long time. The story itself came from a mix of my own experience. My dad was an exterminator growing up, so all of his kind of war stories, and then growing up in New York and like New York City in the New York area, because I grew up on Long Island, living there through Hurricane Sandy and watching my parents' neighborhood get flooded out kind of, gave me some new anxieties that I never had before about like what happens to a city when people start leaving, and what would happen if New York in 100 years is getting flooded out regularly, like what would it look like? And that was kind of the what if that sparked it. And then that kind of merged in with thinking about my dad and his attitudes towards animals, because he does really love them despite that job that he had. What would it look like for a future where maybe you can't hurt animals because of laws, but you still have to dampen their presence a little bit to make sure that people can go about their lives? Like, how would pest controllers function? And it all sort of snowballed from there.
Yeah, no, that sounds like it. And look no further than this one picture here. Which really encapsulates every time I'm without fail, every time I'm in the New York City subway, I see a rat. It's like, it's not good or bad. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's strangely relatable.
Yeah, it's almost, it's almost like a comfortable feeling at this point.
It's your neighbor.
I kind of expect it. But yeah, it's something that I think New Yorkers will definitely agree to. Is that something when you came into it, you're like, I want to tell a New York story and appeal to New Yorkers? Is that kind of from the mindset from the get-go?
I was thinking more about, there are so many stories about New York City, right? Like, so many. And I was thinking more about how do we take what might be going on in New York City in a little while and make it more like legible to lots of people. I don't want to just entertain New Yorkers and have it be fun for New Yorkers. I want to entertain as many people as possible and kind of, other people who are facing like maybe changing landscapes where they live because there are wildfires or something else, like hopefully can also see little lashings of that in here too. But I mean, it's definitely, if you're from here, I think you'll appreciate a lot of it. There are a lot of landmarks. I used to live in Washington Heights, so there are a lot of landmarks up there because that's where everybody lives, because it is the high ground. So everything else is kind of a wetland now. So there's a lot of like winks. So the Central Park has become a big rat corral. Some natural history is all abandoned. So there's a lot of like, if you know the city, you'll
find all these fun Easter eggs out.
Yeah.
We got, let's say hello to the chat. We got General Piggy. Salutations, my friends. Salutations, General Piggy. I'll salute General Piggy. We got Mo Big saying you need to put the rats to work, pulling the subway like a sleigh.
They'd move faster.
Would be. We'd probably save energy. You know what I'm saying? It would be much more efficient. It would always be pushing. Yeah. Great idea. And then we got Oliver again saying, Oliver was saying that I was able to pronounce it well. You know what I'm saying? So there we go. We got the Ruben translation, but we also got my Spanish roll off the tongue there. And then we have, let me see, mi amigos, Charlie. So I've heard of you for a little while now. It's called for a little thing called Spider. Jumping off the animals. The perfect thing to do from rats. Just my mind goes to squirrel. And I actually messaged you on, first of all, how was your Mother's Day? I messaged you on Mother's Day, and you're like, no, my family. And I was like, oh, okay. How was your Mother's Day?
Well, mine was fine. I'm sure my wife loved hers too. So it was good, man. Thank you.
Good to hear. We have Ollie saying, watch Morgan Spotted Rats doc. It's scary and disgusting. I bet you Honor has definitely watched this documentary. I bet you. Let me see here. We also have, it's an honor to fight the lions come alongside you, Mo Biggs. I don't know entirely what they're saying, but maybe it has something to do with B Rose because he has a good dwarf over there. What were you saying, Charlie?
Oh no, I was just saying my wife enjoyed her Mother's Day, so I appreciate that, man. I was also hard at work getting that Kickstarter ready because oh my god, as soon as I released my wife to go have fun with the kids, I was like, okay, now I got to design trading cards and I got to get bookmarks ready and all this other stretch goals and crazy stuff that you just got to get ready for and get back to get queued up because as soon as the thing closes, you got to have that ready to go. And it's you guys know it's a furious. The build-up is almost as bad as the process itself.
It's
right?
The anticipation, you know what I'm saying? The anticipation.
It never ends. It never ever ends.
As soon as I hit that damn launch button, I'm gonna be like, oh thank God, where's my beer? For like 5 minutes, and then I'll be in honors position of going, okay, right, exactly.
That is true. Here it is: Spider Squirrel and Trash Panda, number 1, 2 through 3, the complete volume 1. That's interesting. I definitely want to take a look at the artwork for the first two. But we have Oliver throwing in some rat documentaries. I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Lots of rat document. Did you do any research on her when you were looking at this besides your own personal anecdotes?
I did. I'm big on research. There's a wonderful book that's just called Rats by Robert. I can't remember his name now. Terrible. He followed exterminators basically around New York City and just walked around and looked at rats, which is a nice thing to do.
Oh, that's true. But did you by any chance happen to watch the movie Ratatouille? It's always an excuse to watch Ratatouille.
I am ashamed to say I've never seen Ratatouille.
Oh man, we got to get you on the Ratatouille train, Honor.
No, I know.
I think that it's like Pixar's greatest movie of all time. But
wow, okay.
I have heard that it's a very accurate documentary.
So you're saying the next hangout is going to just be a Ratatouille watch party, right?
That's right. We got to get all of Honor's reactions to this on camera. But yeah, we have Oliver saying Bruno Mattei's Rats Night of Terror. Oh, fun, cheesy Italian horror movie with a twist ending. That sounds like a good time, honestly. If you want those bookmarks or cards in metal, hit me up. Yeah, Phoenix, he's a metalsmith.
Dude, hey, find me on Twitter or Facebook and hit me up. I'm always looking for talent.
Yeah. I'll create a group chat with us. Yeah, Phoenix is a good guy. He has a show with B-Rose. He's very involved in the indie community, and he does some amazing metal stuff. And he's a metalsmith right there. And then there we go. Phoenix always hustling. Everybody knows Phoenix. So the secret of the NIMH is my preferred rat media. This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
That's almost as horrifying as Watership Down. It's like the rat version of it. No.
Yeah, for sure. We got Jay Burns. We're so ready for Spider Swirl number 3, not just the story, but to see what movie homage cover Charlie comes up with. That's what we've been collecting. Oh man, do you want to tease anything here, Charlie? Do you want to give people a hint?
You know what? I'll happily share it with you guys. And
man.
And while I'm pulling that up, I'll share this. Hey, let me get my screen open here. Ruben, you and I actually have a compadre, a cohort in common. Chris Campana did a cover for my book as well.
Oh, that's a good dude right there.
Yeah,
I like that guy. I like that guy.
More last year, he's a great dude. So he hooked me up.
Yeah. No, he hooked me up too. And it was one of these, like, when you meet artists, like, I wanted to mention me and Honor know each other as well because of Kickstarter, and we met each other at New York Comic Con, and
really?
I was actually on a live last night with her table mate. So there's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon here going on here. So we're all kind of connected in different ways, but circling back to Chris is just, he's a good soul, and that was one of the, just seeing him on a daily basis. It wasn't even the talent, because the talent speaks for itself, but it's just, when you want to work with somebody, you want to work with somebody who you can connect with. And he understood what I was trying to do. And Chris is a good guy, man. I'm glad that he did something for you too.
Oh yeah. I'll show that to you if you guys want to see it. It was a store exclusive cover he did for a local store that bought a couple hundred copies of his cover. So, so before I share this, I will I'll tell you guys, because not everybody on this show or even the panel knows the current situation. So what Jay Burns is talking about, and Jay, thanks for the support, man. Obviously you picked up at least one of the other covers, if not both. Every issue of Spider Squirrel, we've done a movie parody homage cover. The first one was Back to the Future 2, and we had a parody to that. And then the second one we did Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which was just awesome. So this third one is I'm super stoked for. It's we're doing the Star Wars.
Oh wow, yeah.
And actually, fun fact, I just got to see one of the original, it's a 2-sheeter. It's like almost 6 feet wide by like 10, 12 feet tall. It's huge. My local comic store got one from 1977. So there it is. So here's Trash Panda. Let's see if I can zoom. If it lets me zoom. I haven't used this, but anyway, there we go. So Trash Panda's back there, not transformed, currently eating a pizza. Milestone's back there looking, whatever. But this is the best part to me. So there's a theme going. in the first issue, there's the cover, a store exclusive cover for the same store that bought the Campana cover. We did Spider Squirrel versus Trash Panda, best friends fighting over pizza toppings. One loves pineapple on pizza, the other one hates it. And so this goes right back to that. Is of course our Death Star is a pizza pie with
No, that's
pineapple.
awesome. Oh man, all right. We have Jay Burns saying, "Hell yes, that's a very cool cover," and everybody loves Star Wars. All right. We have Mo Big saying, "It looks cool, but I hope that this isn't signaling the return of Star Wars trivia to the show." We did have a Star Wars Day trivia, and nobody could get it because Steve Ekstrom was too big of a fan of Star Wars.
Dude, you had Steve Ekstrom. I love that guy.
Oh yeah, he was on the show last week or 2 weeks ago.
Steve's a great guy too. Yeah.
Joe M. Sontag on the show. Hail at Mo Biggs. He's gonna come on this show, and he might be the biggest celebrity to actually come on the Treehouse. But he has a Reaper Destroyer campaign going on Indiegogo right now. Excellent artist, and he's saying hello to everybody. And we have, of course, everybody knows Joe. We got Joe over here, and we got Mo Big saying back Reaper Destroyer. Amazing. But yeah, again, a big fan of Steve, and that man knows his Star Wars. That man knows. Are you a big Star Wars guy, Charlie? Is that why you did that homage cover?
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely. I was just telling somebody yesterday, when A New Hope comes on TV or whatever, I just can't not turn it on. In fact, I ended up watching NBA basketball the other day because our local Verizon station had it. It said, Star Wars: A New Hope. I was like, oh hell yeah! I turned it on. It's like basketball. I'm like, whatever, okay.
It was supposed to be Star Wars.
It was. So
we got General Figgy saying Spider Squirrel sounds quite interesting. I will check it out when it launches.
Well, thank you.
That's all what it's about, Charlie. It's about getting those fans.
We're just having fun. It's in my mind, it's just it's quasi autobiographical. So some of the antics in there are actual like super heroic, fantasized versions of stuff I actually went through. So
okay,
we're having a blast.
I want to pull up the first campaign just to show some artwork. That's always a thing I like to do so people kind of understand. Let me see, why did that not work? But it's how this is your third book or fourth book? Fourth campaign.
This is my fourth book, but this is the third Spider Squirrel book.
Okay. So we have here. I was actually trying to find that cover, that cosplay. This one right here. The dates of future past.
Yep, that's it.
Future past. That's cool. But yeah, some interior artwork here. Some very cool. And so this, we all know the legendary story of how Stan Lee created Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? So he was strong, and he was like, and for them to he called it something else. Sticky Man, I think, was one of them. There was a bunch of names before he landed on Spider-Man. How did you come up with the name Spider Squirrel, Charlie?
Good question. So I was actually auditioning for American Ninja Warrior. I ended up on season 10 in Miami. But while I was putting together my video, because they want a video production, it's got to be 3 minutes and blah, 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 right? As part of your application process. And so I was choreographing, like just showing off my moves. So I was in the gym during an open gym, and these two teenagers were young teenagers, like 11, 12 years old. They were arguing. It was funny. They're both named Alex. So Alex B, we'll just say, he was like, look, he looks like a squirrel. He's like jumping all over the place. He's just not as annoying, which is not true. I'm twice as annoying. But then the other Alex C, was like, no, he looks like a spider with his long arms, long legs. Since I'm 6'3", and he's and they were fighting, and it was like a persistent argument. Like, no spider, no squirrel. And I was like, guys, I got it. I'll just be a spider squirrel. And I said it, and I was like, oh sugar. So I went home that night, designed the logo, printed it on all my training pants, printed it on my training tank tops, and I was wearing that in all my videos then. And then Ninja Warrior was like, hey, we want you to have like a logo and the whole shebang. And so I was like, well, hell, okay. And so I started designing the whole thing. And the next thing I know, I was like, this would be a really fun comic book, and we can have a blast. And so
there we go. That's how it works. But that means
I designed it and rocked and rolled, man.
It means this is a self-autobiography, loosely based on a true story.
Yeah.
Spider Squirrel.
Yeah, real ninja, not a superhero,
All right, but do you have two Alexes in it?
No, not yet. So it's funny.
Okay.
No, real people, real friends and acquaintances, and even ex-girlfriends have shown up in there. My wife knows. And my wife is actually getting she's getting her own character that she co-designed with me. So that's gonna be a lot of fun to show her off, and she'll show up in the trade paperback as some bonus story.
Oh man, I can't wait to kind of pick. Are they going to be animals or themselves?
No, the only anthropomorphic characters really right now are Trash Panda when he transforms into his were panda coon hybrid thing. Nobody knows what that is. And then there's the man goose, which is just me being silly. Yeah, exactly, Ruben. It's even the characters riff on that. They're like, really, man goose? There might be a few others coming, but those guys. Oh, and Tailgater, which everybody loves Tailgater, and he's going to show up in a later book, a one shot from a different spinoff.
Let's check in with the chat. We got Phoenix Animation saying Mo Biggs loves furry books. Goodbye, all. Lol. I think he knows that there's no coming back once you go against Mo Biggs here. And then he's Phoenix always fighting a losing battle against his own degeneracy. That is true. Maybe that's why B Rose is R.I.P. You know what I'm saying? We have some people here at J Burn saying, I'm still waiting for Charlie to do a cosplay cover with him in the costume.
So that's coming actually. So
ooh, okay.
I mean, what the hell? I already have part of the costume done. So.
That's awesome. And then the easiest thing to do when you go to the con, just be your character. There you go. We're thinking 10 steps ahead. 10 steps ahead here, Charlie. It was super cool that we were able to get some submarine exclusives, some submarine exclusive teasers, Charlie. When is this launch going to happen again? You said
Friday night. We're going to launch Friday night. I know everybody's like, oh, Friday night for Kickstarter. It doesn't seem to matter. Kickstarter is kind of wild anyway. So
I agree.
We're going to launch. It's a 3-week Kickstarter as opposed to a full month. So we got 21 days to hit numbers.
I agree. Generally, just any night you feel ready, that's when you should launch.
Launch, yeah.
It's really when it is.
The notification page is up, so you can just go to spidersquirrel.com, just all one word, and it'll take you right to the page, or you can find the link in the chat there.
Spidersquirrel.com. No spaces, no dashes. There you go. It's easy to remember. I like that, Charles. Awesome. Let's go. I believe M. Do you have a live one too right now? Correct?
Yes, I do. I've got 15 days left, I think.
Yeah. When I first started, which again I just started back in January, I launched my first book. I hit the launch button. I didn't want to wait anymore. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew I wanted to do it. I wanted to enter that community. And one of the people I met, the first people, was actually M. And
randomly through Instagram. How weird is that?
I just messaged her on Instagram because I saw her book was coming up in a few weeks, and I knew she was doing she had some experience in this, and then we've hit it off ever since. She's been a good friend. This is your second book this year that you launched, right, Em?
Yes, it took me a moment for it to register, but yeah, it's the second book because it's like it never ends. Jeez.
Are you trying to launch a lot more? Is that what's the is that?
I had a goal of trying to do like 4 books this year, but I don't think it's gonna happen because like I do all the art and the writing and the marketing and stuff, so it's just like it's like good old Sisyphus just pushing the boulder up the hill. So yeah, so I think I'm just gonna do 3 this year and chill, and then like worry about next year.
So this is the artwork. It is a very unique art style. It definitely catched my eye. How would you describe this story? Em?
I kind of describe it as like a slice of life soap opera, fantasy drama type story. Like it's definitely in a fantasy setting, but you're not gonna get that sort of fantasy like tale of like chivalry and kings and queens and knights and people banding together to go on a quest and return jewelry or whatever. Like you're not getting that. You're getting more of like a story of the characters themselves, and like it's a bit unconventional, I think, because there's no set like, oh, this is the good guy, this is the bad guy. It's more like they're just dealing with like whatever life throws at them. So you're just like you're watching these characters make a lot of really stupid mistakes, and then you're just like hoping they do better. Kind of like real life.
that's the realism right there. That's the magical realism of the
Yeah, it's kind of like if I could find
Relatable.
something that existed in mainstream media now, I think the closest thing is like Saga. So it's kind of like Saga, but like not in space, and if the parents hated each other.
There you go. Well, that's pretty cool. How, because this is, you're on number 4 right now. How long do you see this going? Do you want to do other IPs? Do you just want to kind of keep chugging away?
I just want to keep chugging away at this. I mean, honestly, this is like a story that I've probably been planning for like the past 2/3 of my life. Like I've been thinking about this since I was like 12. So it's great that like, you know, in my middle agedness, I finally get to do it. So it's like I just want to take that and just run with it and go as long as I can. Like I definitely have a set ending, but like it's a matter of finding how to get there because you know you kind of have an idea and then like a bunch of other ideas come up along the way where you're like, oh hey, let me throw this in, let me do that, let me like put this backstory in here. So I'll probably be working on it till I'm like 70 years old or even longer than that. Like it's definitely like a long form ongoing thing.
Oh man, don't tell Pac that. Pac wants to do Elixir forever. Pac keeps expanding the story of Elixir.
Live
Well,
your
not
dream.
forever
Live
though.
your
Come on.
But yeah, we have so our book is over here. Elixir issue 1 is now out. That is not what I wanted to do. But yeah, so this book, the first floppy just came out. Again, this is the one that's coming on Indiegogo next month early. But yeah, we're trying to do number 2, but then Pat keeps in a good way we keep like kind of going out of the box and keep on creating the larger universe.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
We're definitely getting there. One step
Also,
at a time.
I gotta go. So.
Oh, no worries. But
the
that is the
sketch
ink
that I
sketch.
just
If you get that on the tier, you get an inked sketch by Pac that he signs on the front page over there on the first page, and it's pretty
There's
cool.
more I can show. So.
Oh, of course. Oh man. How can you not want this? How can you not want this? Connor?
All right, let's go one more.
Let's go. That is one of my favorites. That is for sure. Yep. Oh man.
All right. It's nice meeting you guys. I have to leave.
Nice meeting you. Bye.
Thank you.
We have
Bye-bye.
Jay Burns saying, soon as my wife saw Elixir, she came home and said, we're backing this now. There we go. That's right, Jay. That is right. It's that's the same thing. I think a lot of people, when they saw it, they were kind of surprised, and I think that was why Pat kept pushing me to kind of do it now instead of holding off. Just do it, and we're like, all right. So then we hit it in March, April last month, and then it's been really just off to the races. Susie, what are you up to? I feel like you're doing too much, but also it's a nice slow process.
Yeah. So basically, I'm rotating between painting a couple different things because I need to let layers of paint dry before putting more on. So we've done like the first 2 layers of red on our handle here. It's still patchy, so it's probably going to need like at least 2 more. And we've also got our first 2 layers of silver on all of this. It'll get another 2. And down here, I'll just set that down for a sec. These little guys here both have
so cool.
2 layers of silver paint as well.
Oh wow. It says lunar on it. I know all of you guys are wondering what it's saying. It says
and it has little holes in the back for attaching them to things.
Oh man. Susie's also one of those people that thinks super far ahead, you know what I'm saying? And again, this is a teaser. This book's coming out in July. But you can kind of already guess what it's about, or you can put the pieces together. It's a part of all the fun. We got Mo Big saying the Pacness cannot be contained. Pac is one of those people that he jumps in and out as he pleases, but he brings the action. He brings the action to the show. You know what I'm saying? So
he brings the action. That's what he brings.
The action. There we go. Charlie understands it. He understands these puns that are going around here today. But yeah, I think it's one of those things that as we grow, we kind of are. I just like meeting a lot of new people here. Honor, I want to kind of jump back here. Oh wait, we got Pedro in the chat. He says hello from Panama City. Wish I was there. Good old Pedro. He is doing actually. He's a rock star. Okay, he's a rock star. He's touring around South America currently. and one of the things he's doing actually while he's actually in the studio recording a song for this book that's coming out in July. So he's doing lots of things down in Panama City. So it's okay. It's okay that he's not here today. But Honor, I wanted to jump back to you explicitly about this book, New Rat City, but you've actually done a few books before New Rat City. Is that correct?
So I have another series that I write. So this is New Rat City Part 1. One of our covers talk about like classic monster movie covers. This is Andraste, which is my other series. Woo, where am I going? It's backwards. Which is a historical fantasy about Boudica fighting the Romans. Got lots of homages to Conan going on in there, as is only right. And I've done some work this year too, not books, but shorts for 2000 AD, which has been super fun. And Ahoy Comics, short story for them too, and some stuff going on for Xenoscope that's not out yet.
New stuff from Xenoscope? Oh man.
Yeah.
I want to touch back. I want to circle back to 2018 in a second, but first I want to, let's say I had a chat here. We got Aerith from Aerith Saga. Me and Aerith had a great conversation, a one-on-one interview about crowdfunding, about building your own website for sales. And if anybody's interested, this man knows what he's talking about. He's very intelligent, and he can back up all of his claims. We got everybody saying hi to Aerith over here. And we got Oliver saying mad respect for Susie. I would go crazy painting props with a tiny brush. Everybody notices Susie, you know what I'm saying? You're getting some new fans every moment as the time goes on. We got Aerith saying, Ollie, are we done coloring? No, because Ollie's too enamored with the cover. I believe it was that rat cover you showed. That rat cover. That giant rat, that's hard to miss. We got Gringe and Panama Man. We got Joe Sontag is still in the chat. This man is my new favorite. He's climbing up there. I just saw him on B Rose's channel last night. Let's see. Got news from Ark and have some fun. And then we got Art saying I'm a con artist. All right, Jay Burns is saying, Ruben, did I see right that Illusion Witch was going to be in comic shops, and how is it working with the amazing Dave Lentz? That's honestly as good as that's as good as a segue that we're ever gonna get. But right before there, Ollie's saying I'm coloring. Let that man be. He's here to relax. But yeah, Ruben, how is it? Let's answer Jay Burns' question. What is Illusion Witch gonna be in comic shops?
It is. It's being published through Behemoth Comics. It comes out next month on June 15th. That's been a crazy fun ride. And what's it like working with Dave Lentz? I say this and people usually laugh, but I'm the least talented person on my team. So working with somebody who is who shows the amount of passion and the amount of care for your thing, the way that Dave does, I think it's a rare commodity in the industry. I think, unfortunately, in the indie world, we deal with a lot of people that, they just want to check. They want the money, and I have artists in my DM all the time, like, oh, I want to work. And then I give you work, and then it takes me weeks to get pages, and and then it's always one thing after the other. And I understand life is life, but I've been doing this since 2014, so it's one of those things where I've had enough body of time to kind of examine the scope of the industry. And Dave Lentz is the truth, is I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a person who continuously just delivers on every facet, whether it's a little postcard looking thing to promote the book and its release, or whether it's the logo of the book, or the dialogue. He'll he's from A to Z, he runs it down, and it's been like that since day one. I mean, we've been what's the word, kismet, like it was just meant to be. And when it came to the Illusion Witch, when I sat down and told him what the book was about, and where I came up with the story, and how I came up with the story, and why I was telling the story, he was immediately, drawn to that, and was like, I'm here to deliver, and he's done so. So yeah, it's great working with Dave Lentz. I usually I try not to, blow his head up too much, because it gets to people. But never. He's always been he's always been good at that. And yeah, man. I mean, I've been blessed with a really creative team. My artist is Andrea Erico. He's out of Italy. My colorist is PH Gomez out of Brazil. And of course, like I said, Dave Lentz, just letterer extraordinaire, book designer. He knows exactly what to kind of say and do in the right moments. I think as creators, we fall in love with our own product, and as writers, either we have an editor or we play it really close to the chest. And I'm kind of one of those play it really close to the chest kind of writers, where I don't really have an editor. But Dave is the closest thing I have to that. And I trust him with my story, with my book. So yeah, I try to keep him as busy as possible, so I don't have to share him with too many people. But the man's a workaholic. He's constantly working. He's got a ton of jobs. I mean, he's doing stuff for Source Point Press. He's doing stuff for me.
Do I
and
hear something from Ro Lamb? Ro Lamb.
Oh yeah, I had to get a little pull quote from Ro Lamb. That's another emotional writer. Like, what I love about the indie community is the fact that whether it's something as large and adventurous and almost childlike as Spider Squirrel and Trash Panda, but it comes from a real place. M Story comes from we're in this big fantasy world, but we're looking at it through the human relationships that are happening in her world. New Rat City, again, for Honor, those are stories that inspired her from her father and from just looking around New York. That it reminds me of like what Scott Snyder said when they asked him, "Oh, how'd you come up with the Court of Owls and how'd you come up with that whole idea?" And he said, "Well, I wanted to go back to my roots, so I went back to my neighborhood in New York, and it didn't look the same. It was completely different, and it was that idea that the city is constantly changing that gave him the idea of like the world's greatest detective thinks he knows everything about Gotham, right? But it's this thing that he doesn't know about. So just going back to that idea of just finding something that resonates inside of you that you can then in turn share with other people and hopefully find an audience. And I think that as indie creators, all of us we can attest to, we do find our audience. It's slow and it's a grueling process, but we get them one by one by one. And you know what? I think it's only because we're sharing pieces of ourselves through these stories.
Dude, it's funny. I just tweeted yesterday. I was something along those lines where I was saying the same thing. Like, there's a market for everybody. I mean, hell, people still call radio stations asking for Nickelback to play a song. So, I mean,
I retweeted that one.
Market. What's that?
I retweeted that. I saw that.
Thank you very much. But it's true, though, right? I mean, I think Ruben nailed it. Is like I think the big thing in indie comics that people get despondent over is, I don't know who my market is. No, of course you don't. Why would you? You don't know who your market is until you build your market. Now your question is, how do you build a market? That's what you should be asking, and that's what and that's where you really kind of go. Is you have to start thinking about who would read my book. Well, you probably wrote it because you like this, so you're the first piece of demographic, right? Start from there and then move outwards.
Definitely. Ruben, you brought up that you're getting into stores with Behemoth. I want to kind of circle back into what made you, kind of apply for Behemoth and all that and how the process was. But quickly, I just want to check back in with the chat saying, Oliver says, hell yeah, don't let Aerith know. That's always a good thing to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep your cards close to your vest. And Aerith will probably find out anyway. But you know what I'm saying? Jay Burns says, Dave knows he's great.
Oh, yeah.
I don't doubt. I joke with him all the time that he must let her in his sleep. Oh man.
He goes to sleep way too early to let her. He's an old man. I always tell him all the time. I'm like, I send him messages at 9:30 at night, and he to his credit, he gets up really early. But I tell him all the time, I'm like, you're such an old man. You're asleep already. I've got all these ideas. I want the letters to look, sleeping.
It's crazy because sometimes even Ellie, we have a weird timetable because she's in the UK. But every time we get something exciting, it's always about balancing the time zones for sure. So I feel that. Jay Burns also says indie comics for the future. I've been saying that for a while. I wanted to show you something because I want I want people to understand that the indie comics can do well in shops, and that comic shops are looking for and trying to bring in more indie products, because they actually are selling as well, if not better, than the Marvel and DC titles currently in today's market. And there's literally lots of comic store owners that will tell you this. I want to, I'm always trying to push the indie community to kind of, yes, I understand crowdfunding, online sales, but and cons are a big part of it. But another piece of the puzzle, the sales and growth puzzle, is getting into comic shops. I want to share here, Elixir is now in comic shops. That is right. We got some excellent placement here for Elixir. And if Pack was saying they put us in front of Boom's Grimm #1, which is a huge new series, and then my exact words were, if they think Elixir will outsell all these other titles, who are we to judge? You know what I'm saying? They probably know better after years of experience. But then of course, it's one of these things where it's like we can be up there. Indie comics can do well in stores. Again, here's another store that we're in, and it's in the middle of all the Marvel. I know which one screams out at me. You know what I'm saying? And right in the middle over here is Elixir. But yeah, Ruben, that was kind of my segue into how did you get into Behemoth? Did you know Steve Ekstrom before, or how was that relationship growing?
No. I'm kind of like an industry nerd, like I pay attention a lot to like indie publishers and who's doing what. And Behemoth was already making noise. And it was just one of those things where I saw what they were doing and the trajectory that they were going in, and I saw kind of just personal relationships on social media and how they were, the Nathan, at least in terms of Nathan Yoakum, who's the CEO over at Behemoth, how personable he was. I was seeing it, I was seeing it on social media, see how approachable he was. So it was never very much a pitch thing. It was never a pitchy thing. It was actually a joke. I actually told this story last night. It was because of Mike Tiener and Midnight Highway. We kind of all connected, and then I had shipped out the rewards for Illusion Witch Book 1, and Mike Tiener posted it that he had gotten his copy. And just joking with him because we're weird friends, I was just like, oh, I rubbed that book all over my body before I sent it to you. And and Nathan, just kind of followed up the joke and was like, how do I get a special Ruben copy? And I was like, what would make it really special? That Behemoth logo. And that was really like the only kind of thing that I was like nudging, like, hey, I know you see the book. I'm a free agent. But I kind of let that comment stand, and a friend requested him, and we started talking back and forth. And a few weeks later, I was like, hey, I want you to check out the book. I want you to see what I put together, and let me know what you think. And it wasn't really like I'm pitching it to you, or I'm trying to be published. I just wanted to share it with him. And luckily, he reached back out and was like, listen, if nobody's doing this, we want to do it. So I was very lucky because it was one of those things where I had only sent it to one other publisher, and I kind of just waited till Nathan came back to me to see what his response was going to be. And what was funny was I actually just got a response email like 2 weeks ago from that publisher that I pitched, and they rejected the book. They passed on the book. But I thought it was funny because I was going to respond. I was going to be like, okay, you can pick it up in stores June 15th. But I was like, nah, let me not do that. But
you should have done it, Ruben.
Nah, humble bumble, bro. Humble bumble. I keep it positive because I respect that publisher, and if they passed, it was for a reason. But I don't need to know why. I've got what I've wanted. I got what I wanted out of this book, and with the Illusion Witch, it was one of those things where immediately I went to Kickstarter. I knew I wanted to do it through Kickstarter, but I knew that I wanted to find the publisher because I wanted to get it in as many hands and in front of as many eyes as possible. Not just for myself or any selfishness or anything like that. I just think that the story is good for people. We all deal with a lot in terms of the themes that I discuss in the book, and I think the book does a really good job at putting that through line through darkness to light, and I just wanted to share that experience with people.
And when you say it's not for yourself, honestly, I consider everybody in the indie community, whether they like it or not, we're all on the same team, because what we're competing with is Marvel and DC, right? All these other big publishers. As indies, we are together in our own kind of bubble, in our own kind of team, and and even in industry, to build it in industry, we all have to be putting out great content and promoting ourselves and making ourselves visible. It all really feeds back into itself, into bettering the entire indie crowdfunding comic community and industry. So I definitely always encourage everybody to keep doing it and keep on, because you're not alone. It is one of these things where there is a whole community around you that will support you. And of course, I mean, you've been doing this for a while now on Kickstarter. It's been so welcoming to me, and I think and there was also an Indiegogo. There's so much going on in crowdfunding right now. But yeah, one of the things of indies are definitely now to try to make the best product, and again competing against those other big titles. So. Honor. You brought up 2000 AD, and I mentioned this because over here you had I saw in your bio that you had actually won a writing competition. Is that true? Are you arguably you might be the best writer on this panel right now?
I don't know about that. I did. I won. So 2000 AD every year does. Well, Ellie might be familiar with this. There's a Thought Bubble Future Shock 2000 AD contest every year that they pick one artist and one writer to work together on a story. Yeah, it's a talent search.
Well, I think this is a popular writing contest. I think everybody knows of it.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, you know what? Let me give it a shot. Why not? I try to take that approach a lot of just submit as much as possible. And I had a story idea that really I felt like worked for it this year. It's about a mouse who accidentally becomes immortal due to scientific experiments on him and watches the fall of humanity. Doesn't have very clear memories of his time in the lab, so he really romanticizes humans. And he builds a time machine and goes back because he's become extremely intelligent in the thousands of years he's been on Earth. So he goes back and sees kind of what was really going on. Yeah, it was really cool. I have actually have the progs here. Just grab them really quick because the artwork on it is amazing.
It says, and I'm just reading straight off the page. It says, this is legendary comic book. With legendary comic book 2000 AD, were legendary creators such as Alan Moore, Grant Morrison, Mark Millar, Brian Boland. There's so much more that got their big break in 2000 AD. And
this is Lee Milmore did the artwork here. He is just unbelievably good. So he won the writing, the art contest. So this is like his work here, and yeah, it was just really, I couldn't believe that I won, and then I watched the art one to see who I was going to get paired with, and I was like, yes, because Lee is just fantastic. And then that kind of opened the door where the editor-in-chief emailed me like a few weeks after I sent in the final script of that. It was like, hey, you want to do another one? It's like, yeah, sure, play it cool. So I have another one in like the next prog that's about a Roomba that has achieved sentience. And this is illustrated by Vivi Glass, who is fantastic.
We have a running half joke that every time I think comic or writer, I think Pat Shand. But now it's every time I think comic writer, I think Honor Vincent. That's what's gonna happen now.
I don't know how I feel about that because I don't think I can unseat Pat. But thank you very much.
You mentioned Xenoscope. What are you doing in Xenoscope? Because I know Pat does a lot of Xenoscope. I actually just met that man on the road at CradleCon on Long Island.
Yeah.
What are you doing for Xenoscope?
So Xenoscope, again, it was another contest. At New York Comic Con, they had a pitch tank. So I was like, sure, I'll go. And I went and I was one of the runners up for that. So I just kept bothering Dave Wohl, who's the editor-in-chief there, emailing him every once in a while to be like, hi, I would love to write something for you.
Favorite thing to do is bother people on it. I understand it. So don't
yeah. If you have someone's email and they're nice and they respond to you, definitely like keep them apprised of your work. That eventually, I can't talk about exactly what it is now, but it's for one of their anthology books. So I've got a story in there. Yeah, there's Pat.
We got Pat Shand over here. He's a good friend. He was on the show 2 weeks ago now, I think. But yeah, he's awesome. He's a good guy. He's done a lot. I would consider him, part of the definitely current, but he was part of the old guard of Kickstarter, one of the founding titans, I would say. And then he's bringing him, and he's just still killing the game. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah. So now we're coming up on the hour. It always goes so fast. We had so much fun. I think we learned a lot. I think we were able to now connect with each other. It was great meeting all of you for the first time. Somebody meeting you face to face. I like to go around just kind of saying where people can find you, maybe anything exciting that's up next, or just remind people what's happening next for you, where they can kind of support you. But first, let's just go into Susie. Susie, do you want to say what's happening, or how does it look now? It looks pretty good. It almost looks like it's finished. Is this?
It's got like quite a bit more shading to go, but I think this guy is pretty much done.
Oh man, that lunar badge, that looks pretty nice. That looks. What do you think that lunar badge represents, Charlie? What do you think? What do you think it represents?
Come off mute, and I'll tell you. It's like that WebEx problem, right? You got anybody who works remotely is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was double muted." So I look at that, and my first thought is Galaxy Ranger, right? You get this badass, silver, really shiny, cool gun with just one other color, so nice and easy for an animator, right? And then the cool badge that says Lunar. That just to me, just obviously it screams, space cowboy, space sheriff, Galaxy Ranger kind of thing.
There we go. You nailed it right on the head, Charlie. But we won't say anything more than that. You know what I'm saying? We got this little Charlie pictures. He pictures some kind of.
I have those DVDs, man. No shame. I freaking loved it. I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning as a kid to watch that show, and then Robotech came on afterwards on my local channel. It was a beast hour for me. And then I had school.
That's right. Glad to hear it. But yeah. Amazing, Susie. The piece is really coming together, I would say. I think I saw. Is the hat done? Is the hat done, or is
it's getting there? Yeah, it's outside right now because I was putting a primer on it that needs to dry, and it kind of stinks. So
got it. I don't understand anything Susie's saying, but I trust that she knows what you know what I'm saying. We got Jay Burns saying just subbed, awesome show. Thanks to Jay Burns. We got Mo Biggs saying hail the panel, hail the chat. It's always a pleasure having Mo Biggs here in the chat. Let's see here. Where can people find you, Susie? Do you want to? You can start. You can kick us off.
Yeah, I am on Instagram at Susie Cosplays. I'm also on Twitter at Susie Cosplays, but I rarely visit there. So Instagram's the place.
There we go. Charlie. Oh, you're double muted again, my guy.
Well, no, I was hoping Susie would talk more. I went on mute on purpose just to avoid noise, but no, I figured I'd change my name to my most common internet handle. So,
that's smart.
Yeah, if you guys want to, if you dare to follow me everywhere or anywhere, you can probably find me on any of the major platforms under my name. So at Charlie McElvy. Spider Squirrel does have some of his own stuff. We have Facebook for him and Twitter and so forth. Trash Panda has his own Twitter now too. If you tweet with him, any of those guys, I will reply in character. So whatever they say has nothing to do with me. It's just
plausible deniability. You know what I'm saying? That's always. There's a separation between Charlie and the character. Everybody needs to understand he's not held liable.
If you want to keep track of whatever's going on with me, it'll be www.spidersquirrel.com. Right now, that'll take you right to the Kickstarter page, which is the most important thing for me right now outside of my family. So
that makes sense. How big is your family? I know you have a wife with
I have 7 kids.
You have 7. What is happening?
Before anybody asks, we're not Mormon, we're not Roman Catholic, we're not even Southern Baptist anymore. It's just no. I always joke and say,
you just don't have any cable, is what you're saying.
The sad part is I subscribe to every damn thing. So, no, usually when people ask me, so what is it? I was like, have you seen my wife? She's hot. There you go. So that's what it comes down.
Oh, you seem, I don't know. You seem crazy young to have 7 kids, my guy. I don't know. That's all I'll throw out there.
Dude, 27 to 9. That's my age span. So I have a 27-year-old and down to a 9-year-old.
Did you say 27-year-old?
Yeah, dude, I'll be 50 soon.
My God, your oldest kid is older than I am. That's what is happening.
Quiet, son.
We got Joe the chat the panel. Ruben, where can people find you? We know we got some new fans here today.
You can find me at Instagram at Ruben the Writer or Twitter at Ruben the Writer. Yeah, I use both, fairly often. I don't have a huge social media presence, but I use it, as much as I guess the next person. But yeah, you can follow me there. In terms of what's coming next, I mean, what's right now is The Illusion, which is in Diamond previews, so you can go and pre-order issues 1 and 2.
Yes.
Throw the whole series on there. It's going to be 5 issues. Trust me, it's going to be a fun ride. And then after that, actually this Friday, there's a book that I wrote, work for hire, kind of an action adventure horror story called Lunation. That I'm launching. Well, I'm not launching it, but Jose Jolzar is launching it and running it. But he's the mastermind behind the whole thing. He brought me the idea. He was like, dude, I just need somebody to make it a story. So I was able to do that for him. And yeah, there's stuff that I'm doing, but it's so early in the game where it's just like, the only thing that I am kind of we're ahead of schedule with is me and my writing partner Casey Bowker wrote a screenplay called Teachers Suck. We've placed in a few film festivals. It's kind of like if John Hughes wrote a horror movie in the 80s. So it's The Breakfast Club meets The Lost Boys. It's a group of misfit teenagers, and their school is being overran by vampires, and they're the only ones that can stop them. And the script, it did pretty well on the blacklist. It actually got us our representation in terms of management. So we're rep by the Tobias Literary Management Company now for screenplays, and we're adapting that into just a one-shot graphic novel with an artist called RJ Silver. He's doing everything, pencils and colors, and of course Dave Lentz will be lettering and doing the logo.
Oh man, we got to get you back, talk more about that project. That sounds super exciting and honored.
We'll do it.
Ruben's directly challenging your title for when I think writer. Who do I think of? He's directly challenging you. It's a duel of sorts. But that's super cool. And you mentioned Casey Bowker. I would say I know that name because he's one of the first people, if not the first person to back my first Kickstarter in
awesome.
January this year. So he is a friend, and it's glad to hear that you guys are doing stuff together.
Oh yeah, no, that's my partner in crime. We met back in New York Comic Con 2014. Fate, the stars aligned, and we kept in touch. And you talk about relationships and friendships over internet and how they blossom and grow, and that has been one of the ones that has come back tenfold in the time that we've invested in each other. So yeah, he's a good guy. You need to have him on the show.
Oh, I absolutely will now. New York Comic Con, I will be there this year. If you guys are, just hit me up. Let me know. You guys will be there. I'll be sure to find you. Got lots of stuff going on, but I always like meeting people and meeting people in person. Again, like Pat Chan, I met that. And I just stayed at this table and we just chatted, had so much fun. Em, where can people find you?
I pulled a Charlie and I changed my name. So it's at MattaSorcier at Instagram or Twitter. I try to be consistent about that. Also, if you want to check out my Kickstarter, it is sacrimony.com/Kickstarter, which is SACRIMONY.com/Kickstarter. And I got 15 days left on it. So y'all better get on it.
That's right. It is funded already, right? But you're just
no, it's not funded. I think I'm like dancing close to 60%, so getting a little nervous.
Oh, okay. Well, they're still halfway through, and
you'll get it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely keep an eye out on your campaign. Honor, where can people find you?
Yep, I also pulled a Charlie, and my handle on Instagram and Twitter is rhonorv. I also have a Substack that I just posted in the chat.
Oh, you're a popular guy. Does anybody ever tell you this? You're just a popular, likable guy.
It's a trendsetter. Yeah, so I send a very occasional newsletter there, and I think that has links to my website and everything else too. And yeah, next up, so New Red City is almost done, and then that'll be shipping late this summer, and then it's going to be out with Scout Comics in the fall as an issue 1, and then a trade paperback. So that'll be in
Scout
Comics.
Comics.
Scout.
Yeah, Scout's great. I love them.
Awesome dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Charlie,
Yeah.
those guys are awesome.
Charlie was on this show. He's a good friend. He's tied with Pat Shan, again, part of that Old Guard Kickstarter. It's fun.
Yeah.
All these names, and once you get into the community, they're all there. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, it's all exciting, and that's I think that was a big surprise there. But yeah, so that's being released through Scout after the Kickstarter. Is that what you said?
Right. So the Kickstarter, we're collecting. It's a 4-issue miniseries, so we're collecting issues 1 and 2, and issues 3 and 4 and 2, like double issue floppies for the Kickstarter, and then Scout's going to print just an issue 1 and then the trade paperback of the whole thing.
Do you know our friend Adrian of Jacoby? Have you heard of him? He was.
I don't think so.
What he was looking for was because he's in the Scout universe. He was looking for people to put cameos or Easter eggs of their Scout comics in his book. Definitely reach out to him.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
He's super cool. He was on a show a few times. He's a good friend. But he just got picked up by Scout over the Christmas break, and
Awesome.
now he's gonna it's gonna come out next year for him, early next year. But yeah,
Very nice.
Ellie, where can people find you? People want to know.
Oh, I'm mainly on Instagram, and I do have a Twitter, but I'm very, very rarely on it, to be honest.
That is
So
fine.
Instagram's definitely the best place to find me.
When
How's
can
my mic
people
working?
when can people see your next thing? You know what I'm saying? When can people see the next thing you're working on, which will probably be one of our things?
Yeah, our thing's coming out in August. I've synced with someone else as well, but I don't know the dates on that, I'm afraid. And my own thing is me struggling to write it.
That is fair.
Long process.
All right. Two things before we go. First thing is that please subscribe to the channel. We go on here weekly. We have a lot of fun. We bring on new creators, and we just talk comics and art, and it's a good time. It's a good time. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys all enjoyed your time here today. If Charlie, can you look directly into the camera and say subscribe?
Subscribe now. You know you want to.
There we go. Oh man. And then before the last thing, I actually just wanted to show, because I just saw you just sent me this, Charlie. But what is this? What is this? What's happening in this photo here?
So I was talking about the Chris Campana cover that we did, and I mentioned earlier the first cover that we did for the store exclusive was they were arguing over pizza toppings. In the second issue, they're actually arguing over corn or flour tortillas when it comes to your taco. And then the last one, they're arguing over ice cream, and they finally agree, and you can see that they're both exhausted. So it was just kind of a funny little finish, and Chris did such a great job of capturing the feel of the whole book right there.
Oh, that's great. Is Carl's the comic shop here?
No, Carl's is actually an historic. They've been in about 15 movies. It's a historic ice cream shop here in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So
okay.
The store is Gateway Comics and Toys in Fredericksburg, and you can email them or call them and request the covers if you want the store exclusive covers. They've only got 200 copies of all 3 issues.
Oh, amazing! I just think that would have been I guess Carl's, but if they actually put their name on that, that would have been pretty fun.
That didn't have the trade dress on it. Their logo is actually a little icon on the cover, on the finished piece. Yep. Got
it. Well, yeah, and then I always like to end these things with somebody has to say the very last word. I think it's gonna be Ruben. It's entirely by random. What's the last word you want people to end on? You know what I'm saying?
Be good to each other, keep making comics, and if you're a writer or an artist, or you're just in general just creating comics, I urge you to place both hands into your heart and come back with a story that needs to be told.